The bodies of 7 people, including 4 children, have been found buried at a house in Vlakfontein in southern Johannesburg. It's understood police responded to a complaint from a resident who'd detected a stench coming from a house in the area. ENCA's Lindokuhle Xulu joins us now live from Vlakfontein to give us the latest. And Lindokuhle, a bit earlier on when we spoke to you, you were talking to some of the family members and there was this effort to try and clean up, which must be a really traumatic task for some of these neighbors and members of this family.
Well, a really tough task for the family particularly, but the neighbors, the support from the neighbors is something that they take comfort in. But just to clarify what the relation of these people that were found in this house is, we understand that in fact the 3 adults, 2 of them were sisters, and one of them was the daughter of one of the sisters, but those are the adults. Now the daughter of one of the sisters is the person who is the mother of the 2 children that was found buried in one of the rooms in the back room. So you understand that now this is 2 sisters and one a daughter of one of the sisters, but we understand that the daughter of one of the sisters was not living here and just regularly came on weekends to visit. But just to give you a sense of who lived in this particular house, we understand that the older sister, the younger sister, as well as the husband of the older sister and the other person that the police are looking for as a possible suspect were the 4 people who were occupying this house, excluding the people who are tenants in this building, but in this house. But we understand that 4 bodies were found buried in one of the rooms there, which I showed you earlier. But that was the 2 sisters as well as the 2 children of one of the sisters. And later on, it is understood that in a space of less than 48 hours, when the child of one of the sisters, which is the one that was found on the back room, came to visit, she was also then met the same fate and was also buried. But what we found when we went into this house immediately after investigators came out of the house and said that they were able to gather everything, we found shallow graves, in fact, one of them being inside the big house and one of them being behind one of the rooms. But really a difficult task for the residents now as they clean up the house and really just trying to get rid of the stench with different chemicals at this point.
So in many instances, Lindokuhle, I mean, part of the process of coming to terms with such a tragic development is sort of reflecting on, what people may have noticed or may have missed. What are people saying about the living conditions at that particular house? Were there any signs of trouble that could have been brewing inside that home? Were there instances of, domestic violence? What's the conversation that people are having as they are coming to terms with this tragic development?
Well, Chulas, one of the things really about one of the things that has taken this community back is, of course, the fact that this was a normal family. These were people who were part of the community, who were helping each other with the community and trying, to deal with societal issues. Particularly when I tried locating this house, coming from the main road here in Vlakfontein, passing by Zakaria Park and coming here at Vlakfontein, one of the residents who pointed me to exactly where this house was saying, we were just talking about this situation. And one of the things that now I remember is the fact that there was a funeral and I didn't see the lady who owned this house. She was referring to now the older sister of this house, saying that she was a person, when there are funerals, when there are such incidences in the community, she would be the first one to really just help orchestrate all of those events and make sure that everything is on point for the neighbors as well as community members in this area. So the residents are describing particularly the older sister as well as the family that lived here as a very normal family. And as a matter of fact, they thought that they were not around this area. But particularly one thing that had led to the discovery of these bodies, we understand one of the sisters, the younger sister of the both sisters that were living in this house, came to this house concerned that she wasn't able to communicate with her sisters for quite some time. And that was when she walked around this fence and found that there's a stench coming from the house. house. But when she asked the neighbors said that in fact the person that the police are looking for was the one who was visible throughout this whole time. And when they asked about the stench, this person told them that, he put rat poison, and those are the rats that were dying inside the house. But later on, we understand that the sister insisted that they must go inside now and look what is happening, and they broke down the door, and that is when really they discovered this, anguishing and really, a startling situation inside the house. But the community members saying really that they're shocked at this. They didn't expect this to happen, particularly because there were no incident or there was no noise coming from this particular house. But they're saying now that, it's such an unfortunate incident, considering that even the children themselves were the people you'd find in the streets just playing around and not bothering anyone. And they didn't see this coming because of those particular facts, that these were a normal family. But one of the things I should mention really quickly is that they say it was a family of 4 that was living here. So the husband of the older sister, as well as the person whom is still at large at the moment that police are looking for. But the husband was taken to the police station, and the husband, we understand that a statement from him is saying that he was not in the country, and in fact he went home, visiting home, and came back to this situation. But of course the police will be able to give us more details after those investigations.
Very quickly, Lindo Gutle, please clarify something for me. I'm startled by the crime scene when you went in there. Of course, police have since done their work and have opened it up, as we are seeing people there moving about inside that house. So no question of interfering with a crime scene at this particular point. But the sand that you were showing us a bit earlier on, what's the story there? Is the sand that was wheelbarrowed in by whoever committed this horrendous crime, or was that sand that had always been inside that house? What's the story?
Well, a lot of things to us at this stage, and of course these are speculations from community members as well as family members, is that what we understand, in fact, from the younger sister who is here trying to clean up and sort everything out after this horrible incident, is that she was aware that in fact there was this person who had a similar surname with them that was taken in by her sisters and was living with these people. But the younger sister now says she never met this person before, and she never visited when they took in this person. But this person is said to have been a person who claimed that he knows them, he had information about the family, and said that the sisters took him in, and that is why now the police are looking for him, particularly because a lot of fingers are pointing towards that direction, saying this person was the person who was in fact around this house not so long ago. Yesterday he was around here until the police came, and when the police came he was no longer seen on the scene. But the only person that was found was of course the husband, who has been taken into police custody for questioning. At this point in time they're looking for that third party that is not seen at the moment.
All right, Lindo Gutle, let's leave it there for now. In Vlakfontein, live for us and tracking that story there, where police have taken in one person for questioning, but are looking for a second person to question around the discovery of 7 bodies at that house where Lindo Gutle is for us this afternoon. And police appealing for help, and the number, of course, is 08600 10 111.